Hi, this is Janice Windward with Midnight Arts. This is an introductory video to tell you a little bit about me and why I started Midnight Arts and how it came to that. As I said, my name is Janice Windward, and recently, just about everything in my life changed. Right now, my life has no resemblance whatsoever to what it was like just over a year ago. And so I'm going to tell you what happened and what was going on. So yeah, I guess I'm going to tell you more about me than you ever wanted to know, and everything that you never wanted to know. But anyway, in April of 2017, I was working for Burger King and had been working there for 9 years. I was a shift supervisor, and I tore my rotator cuff really bad. In fact, my rotator cuff was not there when they did the MRIs. They couldn't even find one. So I went out and had surgery to repair my rotator cuff, and that was at the last day of March 2017. So I was off work for quite a while, but the doctor released me to go back to work, and I kept taking my paperwork back in to work, and the people at Burger King would just say, well, you know, let's wait a little bit longer. Let's wait a little bit longer. So then eventually, and of course, like I said, that was the end of March, so the beginning of April is when I was on leave. So eventually in July, they sent me a letter saying that since I had not returned after my medical leave was up, I was terminated. So in July, I thought, now what am I going to do? I'm 62 years old. Even 9 years ago when I was looking for a job, the only person who would hire me was Burger King. And what are my options? I truly did not think that I had a chance of getting another job someplace else, especially since I live in a small town in Idaho, and there aren't a whole lot of jobs available there. So I was living with my mom and kind of helping to take care of her, and you know, I took her to all of her doctor's appointments, and at this point I was, you know, fixing her dinner and doing, well, whatever she needed done. I was there to help her. So I decided, okay, I will just go ahead and take out my Social Security early and just spend the next 15 years taking care of my mom, and not worry about getting an outside job. And so I did. I took out my Social Security early, so you know, I lost some income there, quite a bit of income actually, because I took it out early. And then instead of taking care of my mom for the next 15 years, in August of 2017, she passed away. So I had been living with her for the last 20 years, and with her passing, I lost everything. Here I didn't have a job, so I didn't, and you know, I worked for Burger King for the last 9 years. My Social Security was not very much. It's not enough to live on, and now I also didn't have a home because I was living in her home. So things changed drastically, very quickly, and I had been watching art videos during the time that I was convalescing from my shoulder surgery, and I had spent a lot of hours watching a lot of videos, and I absolutely loved them. It was just so fantastic. And of course, Artists Till Death is great, Sandra Lott is great, and just, I mean, so many. I mean, Christine, you know, just, there are just so many out there. MidnightArts, she always gives me a chuckle. And so many of them that I watched, and I have enjoyed arts, arts and crafts actually, most of my life. And in fact, when I left, I had been employed by Hewlett-Packard at one point in my life, and when I left that company, I started an internet company called Janice's Arts, Crafts, and Stuff. And it was like 20 years before its time. Nobody ever looked at my site. It was on the internet, and you know, I did all the things they said you had to do to start a business on the internet and get it going. But you know, people back then just didn't buy things off the internet like they do now. So that company folded, and of course I went on and got other jobs in different places. Ended up at Burger King. But I decided that I would start a new business called Janice's Arts, Crafts, and Stuff, because I haven't done quilts for a long time. So so I decided it was going to be that. And then one of my daughters told me nobody will look at a site called Janice's Arts, Crafts, and Stuff. It's just not going to happen. So I thought, well, okay, I'll have to find a new name for my company. And so I was asking everybody, what should I name my company? Now, let me tell you another story. I was babysitting my grandkids down in Riverton, Utah. And my grandson was supposed to go to a baseball tournament that I thought was going to last all day long. He had a ride arranged to pick him up early in the morning, and I was, you know, planning on going over and watching him later in the day. Well, his ride didn't pick him up in the morning, so I got up in my pajamas and everything, and I went, took him over to his baseball tournament, and then told him I'll probably come back this afternoon and watch your games this afternoon and give you a ride home. So, as it turned out, he only had one game. It was not a tournament that went all day long. I thought he had several games. It was not a tournament that went all day long. He had one game, then was done, and so he was talking to his coach, and his coach asked why I hadn't been there to pick him up and watch his game and pick him up, and he said, "Oh, my grandma's crazy. She stays up all night and sleeps all day." So, put it in a nutshell. I don't sleep well at night. I am often up past midnight, and even later this morning I went to bed at 6 o'clock in the morning. So a friend of ours came up with Midnight Crafts for the name of my new business, and it didn't quite flow with me, but then when I changed it to Midnight Arts, that seemed like the thing to do. So that's how we got the name Midnight Arts, because I stay up at night, and frequently I stay up and art during the night while everybody else is asleep. So there you have it, Midnight Arts. I now am living with one of my daughters. Eventually I will be in her basement. Right now I'm in one bedroom. And in a totally different town. For the past 20 years, I lived in the town I grew up in. Went to church with the people I grew up with, you know, and lived with my mom, and totally different. I have moved to a new city. I don't know anybody. I don't know the people I go to church with. I don't know the clerks at the stores, and the stores are so far away. When you live in a small town, you know, you want to run to the store and pick something up, you can be back in 10 minutes. Here it takes 20 minutes to get to the store, and then you got to do your shopping, which takes at least 20 minutes and 20 minutes back. So you're well into an hour every time you need to run to the store to pick something up. So anyway, totally different. My life is totally different than what it was. I haven't done any type of arts. I've done some crafts in the last like 10, 15 years. I've done no arts whatsoever. So this is going to be new. I would invite you to watch my videos, to like them, share them, subscribe, do all those things, and I hope that you, I hope this video hasn't been too long, and I hope that you enjoy my videos and my arts. And remember, Midnight Arts, and check us out on Facebook and Etsy sites, and I hope to see you soon.